Hello, Sagittarius, Sun, Moon, Rising, as well as Venus placements. I hope you're doing well. I'm Jen with Timeline Tarot. Let's take a look at your tarot card for the week of December 14th, 2025. Keep in mind, this is a collective general reading. It is not individualized. It is not personalized to you. Messages may come through today that do not fully resonate. And if that happens, don't get upset. It just means that one message is meant for someone else watching. So take what fits, how it fits, leave what doesn't. Be sure to check out your other placements. And if you're interested in learning about how you can become a time traveler, please check out the description box below. With all of that said, let's begin. Tapping into the Sagittarius collective now for Sagittarius, Sun, Moon, Rising, as well as Venus placements. What is the tarot card of the week here for Sagittarius? Keep in mind, this is not what you don't see coming for the week ahead. The tarot card of the week reading is intended to help all of us grow and evolve so we can move forward. So let's get the tarot card here for Sag. One more shuffle. Thank you. Your tarot card of the week, the Chariot. What signs are showing you that it is time to move forward? At the bottom of the deck, you have Seven of Wands. What areas of your life need boundaries and protection? Okay. Interesting. The Chariot is card number 7, and then you have the Seven of Wands. I would look up that angel number. I'll actually pin it for you in the description box, 77. Okay. Tell me why the Chariot is the tarot card of the week here for Sagittarius, Sun, Moon, Rising, as well as Venus placement. What signs are showing you it's time to move forward? The individual who sits in the seat of control in the Chariot, I've always seen as being the Emperor or Empress. So I feel like it's time now for Sagittarius collective to move in a particular direction. One more shuffle. Thank you. First card out, Four of Wands. The Chariot to the Chariot. Yep, time to go. Page of Swords and the Hangman. Some of you are delaying this. The Fool, the new beginning. Five of Cups, Five of Pentacles. Some of you are delaying the beginning, either because you are currently experiencing the Five of Cups, Five of Pentacles, meaning some kind of emotional loss, or you're fearing that or dreading that. Okay, tell me about the Four of Wands here. Tell me about the Four of Wands here. For some of you, you're contemplating relocation, traveling abroad, but there's some reservation to doing that. Either you can't take someone with you, or you don't want to leave someone behind. One more shuffle here. Thank you. The Four of Wands is clarified by the Devil. Jeez. For some of you, this is a relationship. Toxic living environment. I'll just put it this way. The Four of Wands could be is for me related to your structure and stability. It also signifies your current timeline, because I look at the Four of Wands card as the 1111 card. And so you've been on this timeline with whatever situation, environment, or connection this is. And maybe at the onset, it wasn't the devil, but now it is. It's kind of like you're on a highway. It's nicely paved, right? You're moving in this direction. Suddenly, it's riddled with potholes. You know, your hubcaps are flying off of the vehicle. You're like, oh my God, where the hell's the next fucking exit? I just want to get off of this thing. So whatever source of stability that this provided for you at one time, it is turned toxic. No one's coming out to make the road repairs. You just keep driving. That's one of the signs telling you it's time to get off. This is no longer functioning or functional. This has become a hazard. This has become chaotic. This has become dangerous. The Devil, the Queen of Wands, and Temperance. Bottom of the deck, the Four of Pentacles. And this has kept you stuck. This has kept you stuck. So what signs are showing you that it is time for you to move forward? You know this already. The Queen of Wands is the second most intuitive queen in tarot, and that's you. So you know this already, Sag. You know that it's time to move on from this. I don't know why you're still lingering in it. Maybe it's a job situation, and you don't want to quit until you find your next place of employment. Fair enough. I've been there. Maybe it's a toxic housing situation. And you're like, well, I can't just abruptly leave and be homeless or live in my car. I need to find the next housing solution or another community. Fair enough. So if some of you are lingering for logistical reasons, maybe you want to leave a connection or people that you share, residence with. It doesn't have to be a spouse or partner. It could be roommates or family members. And maybe the connections or relations there are toxic. But again, it's like, well, I can't just abruptly leave. Maybe some of you need to save money before you go. With that 4 of Pentacles, Justice, the 9 of Wands, yeah, 10 of Swords, you might feel like, oh God, I got to endure this every day until I can save up the money to leave, or find another job to leave, find another living situation to leave. Okay. So I feel a lot of you are lingering in this, but it's time to go. At the very least, it's time to create a plan, acquire some knowledge on how you can move out of this. Like, how can you come up with new ways to make money so you can save money to move or relocate? You know what I mean? Or what do you need to do now to get your resume or applications out there so you can find another job, a better job? The Chariot, it's time to go. This has become unstable. The 4 of Wands is now unstable. One more shuffle here. Thank you. The Chariot is clarified by the 6 of Cups, the 2 of Swords, and the 9 of Wands. Bottom of the deck, the Knight of Swords. There's a resistance to leaving whatever or whomever this is. Either you see them as a soulmate connection, which could be true, although when I see 6 of Cups to the Devil or 2 of Cups to the Devil, I usually see that as a karmic connection, meaning it's not supposed to last the rest of our lives. I mean, we could intentionally continue to engage with it, but I feel like you're supposed to learn a lesson and move on. If you want to keep repeating that same lesson, you can, right? You don't have to leave this toxic job environment if that's what it is. You could stay there till you retire, you know, the next 10, 20, 30, 40 years. That's on you. You get to make that choice. You have free will. But it's not going to change what it is. It's still a toxic job environment. You know what I mean? So for some of you, it's something like that. I've been there a long time, or I've known them a long time, or I feel this deep connection. And so there's a resistance to move on. It's not bad, or it's not that bad yet kind of feeling here. I want to, I know I should. Sometimes I feel a little called back to it, like it's dragging you back. Page of Swords. I feel like knowledge is power, even in small doses. Some of you are in a connection with a narcissist, whether that's a parent, a boss, you know, your friend, your lover, and you have a hard time believing that they're a narcissist. It's like you don't want to believe it, or you try to make excuses for them because, again, there's this feeling of like kinship, or I've known them a long time, or I thought they were the one. I feel like whatever situation, environment, or connection this is that once was stable, or at least gave the appearance that it was stable, we know right now that it's not. It's been coming up in your readings for about a month or two. I feel like knowledge is power, just like starting small. I think starting small is the answer. When I wasn't quite sure if my mother was a narcissist or not, because these days people throw around that word a lot, you know, and when we get upset with someone, it's quick to say or quick to think, oh, there's a fucking narcissist. But I literally had to go on YouTube and I started looking up videos of daughters who had narcissistic mothers, because I wanted to hear from them directly, and also some like clinical psychologists who could really define to me what the traits were of a narcissistic mother. And I found a couple of really great channels, and I sat here horrified. I had to watch them 2 or 3 times, like, because the first thing is like shock, like, oh my God, that's like my life story from when I'm 5 years old till today. And then it became denial. Oh no, their mom was bad. My mom wasn't that bad. It's almost like you want to defend the person to yourself even. You know, it's like everyone else can, you know, it's like I can badmouth her, but no one else can. That's how I felt. I was feeling attacked, even though they weren't speaking directly to me. It's just a video for the collective, right? For the general public. The third time I watched it, I grew into the phase of acceptance. Like, this is my mom. So for some of you, it's something like that. You don't want to believe that the person is that toxic or that narcissistic or whatever. But I feel knowledge is power. And we live in a day and age that it's literally at our fingertips. Most of us have cell phones. So we can easily start Googling and finding some reputable websites. I'm not talking about trash sites, but reputable individuals who can speak about it, who are knowledgeable about it. And I feel like that's the key here. Like, what does a toxic work environment look like? What does it feel like? What does a toxic relationship with our parents look like? What is a toxic lover? What are their traits? I feel like knowledge is power. We need to really see this. We're living with it, or we're existing within it. and we don't want to see it, or we don't want to believe it, or we make excuses for it. But I think we need to see it. Tell me about that Page of Swords. I feel like knowledge is power. Once we gain that full clarity, then the boundaries come up. Oh, to the Four of Wands. Then the boundaries come up with whomever this is that shares that one stable environment with us. Tell me about that Page of Swords. Just a little bit of knowledge will go a long way. One more shuffle. Thank you. King of Swords, knowledge, Knight of Pentacles, and the Lovers. And then we're able to make a choice. Then we're able to make a choice because then we're looking at it logically. We're removing the emotion of that Six of Cups, where there's a longing or a nostalgia, or you know what I mean? I've been here a long time. This is my mom. It removes that. The logic will override the emotional connection that we feel to the abusive environment or the abuser. And that person may or may not know that they are abusive. Most narcissists would not label themselves narcissists, you know. Most toxic work environments don't hang a sign out front, a big old banner that says, you know, apply here, we're a bunch of narcissists, you know, or we're corrupt, come work for us. So there's something like that. We really don't want to see it. We kind of know it's there, and that's what's keeping us in limbo. Do I leave? Do I go back? Do I continue to entertain this? But I feel knowledge is power. Once we have knowledge, then we understand what it is that we've gone through, and then we can make a long-term plan. Knight of Pentacles is Virgo energy. We make a choice, and we're able to make a plan. And again, to exit this. The Hanged Man. I think then we get to see it from another perspective, like, I can't fix this. I think some of us are of the mindset of we can fix people like this, or environments like this, or situations like this. I don't think it's for us to fix. I think it's for us to learn from. Tell me about that Hangman energy. One more shuffle. Thank you. Hangman, Page of Pentacles, the Emperor, and the Three of Cups. Bottom of the deck, Two of Pentacles. I think there's this feeling of we can fix it. I can learn how to show up better, and then my boss won't be so abusive. I can learn to show up better, and my coworkers won't be so sabotaging towards me or deceptive. You know what I mean? I'll learn. I can control this. That's some of us for a hot minute here thought we could fix this person. We could change ourselves. We'll learn how to show up differently. I think we were taking the brunt. I'm surprised we didn't see the Ten of Wands. I think we were taking the brunt of this on ourselves. Like, it must be me. They treat me this way. I don't see them treat this person this way or that person this way. Just because we don't see it doesn't mean that behind doors they don't treat those people the way they treat us. So I think there was something here in that Page of Pentacles. The Emperor was like, well, I could learn how to restore happiness here, or connectivity, or I could bring peace to the situation. I think we tried doing that for a hot minute. Two of Pentacles, Queen of Pentacles, Three of Wands, and then we waited. It's like we made the decision. I'm going to show up differently. I'm going to nurture the connection differently. You know, I'm going to invest differently, and then I wait. In the Three of Wands, I wait to see, does the situation change? It never changes. It doesn't change because the entity that is showing up here as this isn't changing. Doesn't want to change, can't change. Maybe it's their soul contract not to change. I don't know. But I know our answer isn't to sit in it or to feel sorry because we're moving on from it, or that we're looking for better to replace it. Fool card. I think once we figure this out, we can move towards this new beginning. Tell me about the Fool card here for Sagittarius. Thank you. Seven of Cups, Phoenix, and the Three of Swords. Bottom of the deck, Four of Pentacles. And I think it's heartbreaking for some of us. And I'm just saying some of us. I'm a Sagittarius North Node. Not much of this reading is resonating for me presently, but I can sympathize with you. Like I said, I've been there with a lover or two in my past. I certainly have been there with my mother. That was the hardest cord for me to cut, but I had to cut it. And people say to me, oh, you sound so cold now. Yeah, I'm a bit of a Queen of Swords when it comes to her. But I've learned that she was a karmic connection. I saw her my whole life as the Six of Cups, which enabled me to enable her bad behavior because I kept making excuses until I learned what she was. And then I realized I can't love her. I can't love her into being the mom she should have been all along. It's not my place. This is her lesson. That's her demon. That's her devil. It's not mine. My lesson is to escape it, to insulate myself, to learn how to better speak up for myself, to no longer tolerate it, to no longer allow what she does or says to affect my self-worth. Those were my lessons. Once I figured that out, that I couldn't fix her, that was her lesson, her journey, I was able to cut the cord. So I'm empathizing here with you, because this renewed life or this new chapter comes with some heartbreak. And the heartbreak is, I really didn't want to leave that person behind. I really thought that if I showed up differently or I came at it differently, I could change them or help them grow. We have the divine gift of free will. You can choose to continue existing in that, and they can choose to continue existing that way. So yeah, I think as you're moving forward here, there is some feeling of that Three of Swords, the Five of Cups, the Five of Pentacles, Four of Pentacles. I didn't think it would go this way. I know. But I think your sign here, where it says, what are the signs showing you that it's time to move forward? Knowledge. As you start researching that type of attachment style, that type of behavioral pattern, I think you're going to, that'll be your sign. So what is the sign? What are the signs that are showing you it's time to move forward? Knowledge. Can I get 3 cards of advice here for Sagittarius? And then we'll get you 3 cards of advice and we'll wrap this up. But I want advice specifically for how you can deal with this, because that was the hardest realization I had when I was like, my mother's still alive, and today's the day I have to bury her. I can't revisit the connection. I can't reach out to her again. It's done. And I felt that. I felt the Three of Swords and the Five of Cups and the Five of Pentacles. I also know that ever since I did that, I feel a lot healthier and happier. It's a terrible thing to say about the person who, gave you life, but she also gave me hell. And I'm a lot happier not having to exist in her hell anymore. So 3 cards for how Sagittarius can manage these emotions. How can they manage these emotions? One more shuffle. Thank you. Because even if you're like, well, I'm done, Jen, I'm not going back. I applaud you. That's great. But if you don't heal this, it might come out as anger later on, either towards yourself or towards other people. Because that phoenix rising from the ashes has to be burned down first. And if you get too aggressive, you can just start burning down every connection in your life unknowingly, because there's just a rage within you. So I think you need to heal this, Hermit. I think you need to go within and do some soul searching. And the soul searching here is, you couldn't change that. You couldn't change them. It was not of your doing. It was not of your making. Even if you feel in some way you contributed to it, or, maybe you were as verbally nasty or combative at times like they were, you still could not change them. And that knowledge is going to be key here for you to figure that out. The Hermit, the Eight of Pentacles, learning, a card of self-mastery, self-discovery, and the Four of Pentacles, bottom of the deck, Ten of Swords. You couldn't change that. That is how that connection with that person was supposed to play out. The only choice you had was whether or not you were going to continue enduring it. And you shouldn't be feeling the Three of Swords because you chose to no longer endure it. So I think knowledge will be power here. It will help to restabilize you. 3 cards of advice here now for the Sagittarius collective. Oh, you and Scorpio's readings went real deep here today. 3 cards of advice. One more shuffle. Thank you. Your advice. Knight of Cups, the Moon, and the Ace of Wands. Bottom of deck, Three of Wands. Move forward. And I think there's a need here as you move forward, once you finally close this out. There really is a need here for you to go within and heal these wounds. Because your message here is to keep your heart open with that Knight of Cups to the Moon. The Moon rules our emotions. You have a fresh start coming. Whether it's a new job environment, new connections, new friends that become like family, a new love partnership. And you want to make sure that when you're entering these new connections, you're coming at it from a healed place, from an emotionally balanced place, not from Three of Swords, Five of Cups, Five of Pentacles. You want to make sure that that's healed so you're not dragging that into these new connections. Your future is waiting for you. You can step into it at anytime. That is what I have for you, Sagittarius. That is your tarot card for the week of December 14th, 2025. If you like that message, it resonates with you, you want to claim all or part of it, please be sure to click like, share, comment, and subscribe. Hype the video if you're able to do that. And don't forget to check out the description box if you want to learn about how you too can become a time traveler. Until I read for you again, I am wishing you light, love, and peace.